A nation divided. The Supreme Court reshapes presidential power. The Supreme Court's ruling on presidential immunity sent shockwaves through the nation. It ignited a fierce debate about the very foundation of American democracy. At the heart of this controversy lies a simple yet profound question. Can any individual, even the president, be above the law? The court's decision granting Trump sweeping immunity for actions taken during his presidency has left many Americans deeply unsettled. Critics argue that this ruling undermines the core principle of equality before the law. They fear it creates a dangerous precedent, potentially shielding future presidents from accountability for even the most egregious abuses of power. The specter of a monarchy, a ruler operating without constraint, looms large in the minds of many. This ruling, they argue, strikes at the very heart of what it means to be a republic. On the other side of this chasm, supporters of the ruling applaud the court for upholding the separation of powers. They argue that a president bogged down by investigations and lawsuits cannot effectively lead the nation. They believe this immunity is essential for the presidency to function without fear or favor. This perspective emphasizes the practicalities of governance and the need for a strong executive branch. The nation stands divided, grappling with the implications of this landmark decision. The court's interpretation of presidential immunity has irrevocably altered the landscape of American politics. The balance of power has shifted, and the future of American democracy hangs in the balance. Immunity's reach, untangling the court's decision. The Supreme Court's ruling on presidential immunity is complex, its implications far-reaching. To fully grasp its significance, we must delve into the specifics of the decision. The court, in its ruling, affirmed that presidents enjoy broad immunity from criminal prosecution while in office. This protection extends even to actions taken before assuming the presidency. This immunity, however, is not absolute. The court made it clear that a president can be indicted after leaving office. Furthermore, the court emphasized that Congress retains its power to impeach and remove a president for high crimes and misdemeanors. This power acts as a crucial check on presidential power, ensuring that no one, not even the president, is above the law. Despite these caveats, the court's ruling has left many legal experts concerned. They point to the vagueness of the decision, particularly regarding the scope of official actions covered by immunity. This lack of clarity, they argue, creates a dangerous gray area that future presidents could exploit to evade accountability. The court's decision has also raised concerns about the potential for presidential overreach. With the threat of criminal prosecution diminished, some fear that presidents may feel emboldened to act with impunity. This, they argue, could have a chilling effect on democratic norms and the rule of law. The balance of power democracy at a crossroads. The Supreme Court's ruling on presidential immunity has reignited a long-standing debate about the balance of power in American government. At the heart of this debate lies a fundamental question. How do we reconcile the need for a strong executive with the imperative of accountability and the rule of law? The framers of the Constitution, acutely aware of the dangers of tyranny, designed a system of checks and balances to prevent any one branch of government from accumulating too much power. The president, while vested with significant authority, is not above the law. Congress, through its power of impeachment and oversight, acts as a crucial check on presidential power. The judiciary, too, plays a vital role in ensuring that the president acts within the bounds of the Constitution. The Supreme Court's ruling, while upholding the principle of presidential immunity, has arguably tilted the balance of power in favor of the executive branch. This shift has raised concerns among legal scholars and democracy advocates alike. They fear that this erosion of checks and balances could have long-term consequences for the health of American democracy. Some argue that the court's decision fails to adequately consider the potential for abuse inherent in an overly powerful presidency. They point to historical examples, both in the United States and abroad, where unchecked executive power has led to tyranny and the erosion of democratic norms. Section 4. A question of accountability. Can justice prevail? The Supreme Court's ruling on presidential immunity has raised profound questions about accountability at the highest levels of government. If a president is shielded from criminal prosecution while in office, how can we ensure that he or she is held accountable for wrongdoing? The court, in its decision, pointed to Congress's impeachment power as a primary mechanism for holding a president accountable. Impeachment, however, is a political process, not a legal one. It requires a high bar of proof and is subject to partisan considerations. As history has shown, it is a difficult and uncertain process. The court also suggested that a president could be held accountable for criminal acts after leaving office. This, however, does not fully address the problem of accountability during a president's term in office. A president who commits crimes while in office can inflict significant damage on the country and its institutions, even if he or she is eventually held accountable after leaving office. The court's ruling has left many wondering whether existing mechanisms for holding a president accountable are sufficient. Some argue that Congress should consider enacting new laws to clarify the scope of presidential immunity and create more robust mechanisms for oversight and accountability. Others have called for a renewed emphasis on ethical norms and the importance of public pressure in holding presidents accountable. They argue that a vigilant citizenry, a free and independent press, and a strong civil society are essential for ensuring that presidents are held to account for their actions. Section 5. Safeguarding the Republic, Navigating the Path Forward. The Supreme Court's ruling on presidential immunity presents a significant challenge to American democracy. It requires us to confront fundamental questions about the balance of power, the nature of accountability, and the future of our republic. The ruling underscores the fragility of our democratic institutions and the constant need for vigilance in safeguarding them. It highlights the importance of an engaged citizenry, a responsible media, and a robust system of checks and balances. Navigating the path forward will require careful consideration, thoughtful debate, and a steadfast commitment to the principles upon which our nation was founded. We must find ways to reconcile the need for a strong executive with the imperative of accountability and the rule of law. The Supreme Court's ruling is not the final word on this issue. It is, however, a wake-up call, a reminder that our democracy is a work in progress, a precious and fragile experiment that demands our constant attention and care.